Good evening. Hello, good evening. How are you? I'll wait a few minutes. I think usually everybody catches the replay. Anyway, I'm in a new spot and I did a little test video because I wasn't sure the lighting was right. So I'm hoping that the lighting is okay and that you can see me all right. Okay. All right. I'm in short sleeves. It was such a beautiful day today. It was in the 70s and I am so ready for spring. So I don't know where you are. Hello, how are you? I don't know where you located, but I hope you had a nice day too. Like a spring-like day in the 70s. It was just totally awesome. My doggy loved it, and so did I. Anyway, what I have for you today is short, but it's very powerful. Discomfort is necessary for your success. It says most people don't know much about the process of actually committing to their life dreams and goals, because most people don't keep most of their agreements. Most people add a silent, unconscious, modifying phrase to all their commitments, as long as it's not uncomfortable. Is that something that you might say? It says, what they don't realize is that discomfort is one of the values of commitments, one of the reasons for making a commitment in the first place. Within us is an automatic goal fulfillment mechanism, it says. When we commit to something, we're telling the goal fulfillment mechanism, I want this. The goal fulfillment mechanism says, fine, I'll arrange for that. And it does. Among the things it uses, individually or collectively, are, it looks to see what lessons that we must learn in order to have the goal. And then it arranges for those lessons. Sometimes these lessons come in pleasant ways. Like we notice an article that we need to know in a magazine, a conversation with a friend reveals something to us, or a song on the radio has a line that tells us something. That's a pleasant way, right? At other times it says the lessons are unpleasant. Someone we must listen to, like a boss, and he tells us in no uncertain terms what we need to do. Or we get sick, and then the doctor tells us what we need to do or else. So the goal fulfillment mechanism sees what it is that's in the way of us having what we want, and it removes it. So first, it knows what lessons that we ought to learn, right? If we're going to move ahead. Then whatever's in the way is going to make sure it moves out of the way. It says sometimes it does it in a pleasant way. Like if the goal is a new car, someone offers you a great price for your old car. That's pleasant, right? Or unpleasant. It says our car is stolen, totaled, or breaks down altogether. That's unpleasant, right? So there are two things then. If we want our goals fulfilled, is first we have to learn a lesson. So the lessons are brought to us. Sometimes they're pleasant, sometimes they're not. And then the second thing is something might be in the way of us getting to our goals. So it's removed either in a pleasant way or in an unpleasant way. Okay? So it says in order to have something new, our comfort zone must be expanded to include the new thing. The bigger the new thing, the greater the comfort zone must expand. And comfort zones are most often expanded through discomfort. So we all know what our comfort zone is, right? It's like this little box that we stay in. And in order for us to include something new, a goal that needs to be fulfilled, it has to expand. It has to get bigger to let the new things in, right? And that's not going to be comfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable. So it says when people don't understand that being uncomfortable is part of the process, they use the discomfort as a reason not to do. Then they don't get what they want. We must learn to tolerate discomfort in order to grow. So if we want to grow, meet our goals, we got to expand, we got to grow, and that's going to hurt, right? It's going to be uncomfortable, but it's a process. It's part of the process. You can't avoid it. It gives a good example, okay, which I thought it was, I didn't know this. Maybe you don't either, so let me read it. It says, this process of growth is known as grist for the mill. If you're from the country, you might know this term. You might know about the grist, right? It says, when making flour in an old stone mill, it is necessary to add gravel to the wheat before grinding it. This gravel is known as grist. It says the small stones that make up the grist rub against the grain as the mill wheel passes over them. The friction causes the wheat to be ground into fine powder. If it wasn't for the grist, the wheat would only be crushed. To grind the wheat fine enough for flour requires grist. After the grinding, the grist is sifted out and only the flour remains. And it's the same with us. In order for us to grow, reach our goals, something's got to rub us, right? Like that grist, that stone rubbed the wheat to grind it into flour. Something may rub us and cause discomfort as we're growing. But we got to do it, right? It's no other way. That's part of the process. But like it says, most people stop because it's too uncomfortable. But if we want to grow, we got to go through it. We got to live through it, right? So it was a short story, but I thought it had a powerful lesson in there for me and hopefully for you too, okay? So like I said, today was such a beautiful day. I don't know where you are. I'm up on the East Coast near Washington, D.C., and it was so warm today. Like I said, I'm in short sleeves. I saw people in shorts. I wouldn't go that far, right? But it's just a reminder that spring is close, right? And we're ready for spring. And hopefully other things change so that we can get back to quote unquote normal, the way doing things the way we used to, right? Okay. Well, I hope you learned a little bit this evening and that you take it to heart. And then I will be back on Friday. Okay. Don't forget to sign up for my YouTube channel. It's Sonia J. Archer. It's SONJAJARCHER. Okay? All right. Take care and have a good rest of the evening.